Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Let's get started. We have an amazing rest of our program coming up. My name's Steven. I'm also one of the co-organizers of this workshop today. I'm an undergrad senior. I'm going to be heading to CMU for my PhD in the fall. But I'd like to welcome two amazing speakers from the California Council on Science and Technology, or CCST, to join us today. CCST is a nonpartisan nonprofit organization that exists to make California's policies stronger with science and technology. CCST was established in 1988 by a unanimous vote of the California legislature to provide objective advice from California scientists and research institutions. So we have two representatives from CCST joining us today. First is Dr. Héctor Corzo, who's a senior science officer, where he focuses on AI, data privacy, and advanced computational technologies. In this role, he leads efforts to bridge rapidly evolving technological innovation with evidence-based public policy. He plays a key role in CCST science services, guiding initiatives in AI, data governance, security, and emerging hardware technologies, including quantum computing. He's also the lead architect for CCST's AI Academy for Legislative Staff, which is a flagship initiative aimed at strengthening technical capacity within government. He also holds a PhD in chemistry with a specialization in theoretical and computational chemistry from Auburn University. And we also have with us Dr. Henriette Canino. She is the program manager for strategic initiatives at CCST. Her portfolio currently focuses on AI-related initiatives, including managing the AI Science Residency Program, which places technical experts in California's state government to advise on AI governance issues. She also builds and manages strategic relationships across California's science, technology, innovation, and policy ecosystem, and is responsible for identifying, cultivating, and stewarding partnerships with government agencies, research institutions, foundations, industry groups and leaders, community groups, and other organizations to expand CCST's reach and impact. So join us in welcoming Dr. Canino and also Dr. Corzo to the stage for us to talk about what CCST is doing today. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephen. That was a great introduction. And we have a tough act to follow here with Senator McNerney, but we're really picking up right where he left off with helping you, as the AI researchers that policymakers so desperately need, understand how you can engage with policymaking, in our case, in California. So for me, this whole conference is a bit of a homecoming. I was at Berkeley myself and worked at the Citrus Policy Lab. That is where I first started working on AI governance, very much in room 562 from Deb Raji's presentation. And then my PhD really focused on how to connect the science or the technological expertise with the policymaking. What I did at Berkeley was read some of the congressional transcripts from the hearings of experts in Congress. And the questions that policymakers were asking just really brought to the forefront of my mind how critical it is that we build these bridges between science and policy. My path post-PhD has brought me back to California, which is at the moment in AI governance a really exciting place to be. And I want to tell you a little bit why. Of course, Senator McNerney has teed us up perfectly for that already. Essentially, what we're seeing is not as much action on AI governance as we would hope at the national level globally, although this is focused on the G20 countries. The US is fairly far ahead, but we're seeing less than 30 bills passed into law that are AI related, contain the terms AI. And if we put that into perspective with how many thousands of bills have passed in that same time period, it's not a lot. Part of the reason for that is that, of course, we do see a lot of bills proposed at the federal level, but there's not a lot of action at the federal level, at least in terms of bringing the political support for certain bills to pass. At the state level, however, that looks differently. Here we really see a lot of flourishing AI governance action. And as you can see here in dark blue, California, this is the most recent updated number that just came out in April 2026. California is really leading the pack on AI governance. So this is the fourth largest economy of the world, and we are in a position and we have the political will to do something about AI governance. So that is where all of the amazing AI research talent comes in to make sure that this political will to regulate AI goes in the right direction, and we need that expertise. And that is where the California Council on Science and Technology comes in. Just to give you very, very brief background on our organization in a nutshell. We are independent. We are a nonprofit organization. We were founded through the legislature, at the request of the legislature, to serve as a science advisor for the state of California. And that has been our mission for the past 40 years, and we fulfill that mission in a range of different programs. The way we do that as an organization that obviously cannot cover every single area of science and technology is in collaboration with our amazing partner network. So all major universities and federal labs in the state of California have official partnerships with CCST at the moment. That includes, of course, the UC system and all of its campuses, including Berkeley, as well as the other public university systems, CSU, Community College, the big private universities, Caltech, Stanford, USC, and then our federal research laboratories in California. So what CCST really does is take the policy request for evidence and find the most knowledgeable combination of experts across these different universities and federal laboratories to kind of come together and give a diverse perspective on that policy issue with the cutting edge knowledge that we have in this world-class research ecosystem here in California. On the other hand, of course, we serve as your avenue to policy impact. So any of these partner organizations are always welcome to come to CCST. Just like Senator McNerney said, we know who is working on what bill. We understand where the policy action is in the research field that you're in, so we're always ready to connect you with the right people in Sacramento. One of CCST's flagship programs that you may have heard about is the Science and Tech Policy Fellowship. That could be interesting to some of you who are current graduate students. Essentially, what we do is place mid-career, post-PhD researchers in California state government, both the legislative and the executive branch. It's very competitive. At the moment, our acceptance rate, I think, is at around 10%. And over the past 17 years, we placed over 200 scientists, and 75% actually remain in policy roles, 50% in state government directly and 75% in the larger policy ecosystem. And the way we achieve that is by really giving you all the resources that you need to succeed in policymaking, because the academic training, of course, prepares you for a career in academia first and foremost, and we really come in and give you the boot camp and the continuing professional development to succeed as science advisors for policy. That's not all that CCST does, though. We have a larger program portfolio. On the right here, you see our publications. Another big area of work for CCST is commissioned studies for policy organizations or agencies in Sacramento. We have a range of different events. We have Science and Technology Week, Science Day, expert briefings that are issue-specific workshops. Then we now have the academy format for the legislature or the legislative staff. Our current AI Academy is headed by Héctor Corzo, and he'll say more about that later. We also offer rapid response services for policymakers grappling with a policy issue who need immediate advice. And then on the left, you see our science residency programs that includes the Science and Technology Policy Fellowship and science advisor placement. So that is not your post-PhD scientist, that is your advanced career senior scientists who are joining executive agencies at a very senior level to advise strategically on certain science issues. And Héctor and I, within CCST, are both working as part of the AI Policy Initiative. It mostly kicked off with our panel on Frontier AI together with the Joint Policy Working Group on Frontier AI Models that Governor Newsom convened after the failure of SB 1047. We also, our big flagship program at the moment is the Legislative Staff Academy on AI, educating staffers on the technological foundation of what they're writing bills about. And then more recently, we're running an AI science residency program to help with implementation of AI bills. So our AI work is really spread out across these different program areas. And with that, I want to hand it off to Héctor to speak about how the AI Academy for Legislative Staffers helps us inform AI legislation in California. Go
Thank you. Thank you. As you know, I'm Héctor Corzo, and I lead the program that is the AI Academy. So this program was originally designed to try to address specific questions and specific gaps that exist when it comes to AI technologies. One of these gaps is the lack of understanding of what this technology actually do and what this technology actually is capable of. Because there is a lot of hype among this technology that it's hard for a non-expert to try to understand or figure out, okay, this is possible, so we should focus on this, and this is just a hype. This is just science fiction. So to address this challenge, we designed an AI Academy that has two different phases. The first phase was launched last year in 2025 and has 4 main programs. The main program was, first of all, we needed to address the misunderstanding of the legislature to concepts. We needed to have a same level of understanding of what we meant when we say a transformer, a GPT model, a generative model, so we can then guide them to more complex topics in policy. For this, we have a 2-day event where it was focused more into AI fundamentals. And the experts that I was looking for this event were people that were more familiarized with the developing of this technology. So a little bit of my background is that before joining CCST, I used to work in developing application for the first exascale computing, computer system frontier. And something that you learn is that when you are actually the one developing a specific model or a specific application, there are a small piece of information that you understand that other people without that experience can explain, and that has serious impact when you are trying to govern this technology. So in a world where everybody is an AI expert nowadays, we were focusing on the people in academia, national labs, and industry working on developing these technologies. So we bring these experts, and we have 2 different type of sessions. One that was more into the basics concepts that all the legislation needed to know and try to have a more equilibrated vocabulary. And then the second session was more into the actual application. Okay, now that you know how this probabilistic engine work, now what is hallucination? What is a vision model? After that 2-day event, we focus more into now the implication of this technology to social problems. And we have a roundtable about AI and education, and more than anything, how we can guarantee that we are scaling up and we are providing the different Californians the enough tools they need to actually integrate AI, because there is still a discussion whether or not AI need to be integrated in the education system or not. Then once you have the basic fundamentals, once you start seeing one of the policy aspects of the AI technology, there is a better way to understand or to get familiarized with this if you can see how this technology is developed. For this reason, we decided to have site visits to one of the companies that focus most than anything in software, and the companies that focus on the hardware that is fundamental for this technology to work. And in these sessions, people have the opportunity to talk with scientists and hear more specific topics about AI. And again, all this was to try to build the understanding of the different legislative staff. To finally, now that you understand what the concepts are, what are some of the potential implications and social impacts of AI, and how this technology is developed, now you need to understand how this technology is integrated in other aspects of our policy making, which is, in this last part, we focus not in the model development or how the technology works, but more how this technology is enable other areas like health, geography, or geology to advance their narratives or the research. So people needed to better, or with the idea that people could have a better landscape of how AI is actually affecting us, especially for California, where many of the companies developing this technology are here, and also have an idea that there is no black and white system, that is a spectrum, and we need to be adaptable to this. So about the participation, we have 106 total participants across all the events. the statistics about the different participants for each of the events are that 36% of the participants attending more than one event. This is the representation of what type of districts these participants were from. And with that first phase, the main goal for us was to understand what was the need for the legislature and to try to test different set of models of teaching this material so we can develop what is going to be our AI Academy. And based on what we learned from these 4 different events, we have developed a curriculum for the next session of the AI Academy that will start in September. And it's going to have one single event every week until December, where we are going to focus in different topics, and we are going to bring experts to talk with the legislature. This with the idea to level up the understanding of the legislature and generate capacity, but also to help them to network with the people doing the research so they know who to contact, who to call next time when they are working in a bill. So for the AI Academy, there is many ways that you can participate, and I will like to ask for your participation, because this program only works if people like you participate and give us their time to teach people that are not technical experts about the research you are doing. So you can participate as an expert if you can help us or have ideas of what a better curriculum might be, or if you work in a lab or an institution that you think that the technology you are working on, it's relevant or will have relevant implications in the future, you can invite us to come. So this is basically the way that you can engage with us, and I will appreciate if you can do that. So with that, I give back to Henriette. Thank you.
Hector. Our other big flagship AI program focuses on what happens after legislators take action. So what happens when we get an AI statute that we want to be implementing? Just last year, September of 2025, Governor Newsom enacted SB 53, the Transparency in Frontier AI Act, and it is truly one of the current landmark bills on frontier AI safety and catastrophic risk. Catastrophic risk meaning chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, cyber risks, as well as the risk of loss of control. And California really moved the needle on what regulation of these types of risks looks like with SB 53. And is already being emulated in other states, like New York, and it's through its RACE Act that was enacted in December of 2025. So we're really in an interesting moment of AI governance in California, where the eyes of maybe the nation, maybe the world, are on California and looking at what the implementation of these kind of cutting-edge AI builds looks like. So just getting the law passed, even though that was a big battle already, is not the rest of the way. And we're at CCST helping to support implementation of AI statutes. So the way that works at the moment is to figure out how to give these agencies that all of a sudden are saddled with new responsibilities under a new AI statute like SB 53, the resources to fulfill those responsibilities and have that cutting edge knowledge of what an AI system looks like. So for example, in the case of SB 53, the California Department of Technology is tasked to evaluate technological developments and the development of international and national standards to figure out whether we need to refine the definitions and thresholds that SB 53 currently uses. So one big threshold in the law, for example, is the 10 to the 26th flops threshold of what systems get regulated a certain way. So with technology developing, when do we need to adapt that threshold? Those are the questions that CDT will be grappling with, and we'll be publishing a report to the legislature on. And of course, that report will face scrutiny. So the goal here is really to get this right for California and for the rest of the United States and the global community. Other agencies, other responsibilities. The other agency that we're working with is the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. What they're tasked to do is establish a mechanism for frontier AI companies to report critical safety incidents and risks from the internal use of frontier AI models. And so that whole pipeline needs to be established. What information is collected? How do we work with the frontier AI companies to do that? How do we analyze it? How do we respond to it? This statute is giving us the broader framework, but implementation really is kind of where the sausage is made. So it really is critical what that implementation looks like. So these agencies have incredible policy teams, of course, but what they don't have is somebody working on the technology hands-on in their main job. So the really cutting-edge expert, and that's who we're looking for in our AI science advisors that we're currently placing with these two agencies. And as a person who is leading the recruitment for these experts, I can tell you it's not an easy feat to somebody who has that cutting-edge technical expertise that is really the necessary but not sufficient condition to be successful in that position, but to also find somebody who has the communication skills to take that technical expertise and communicate it not only to the executive policymakers who are experts in their own right, but also to the public and the legislature that is working on a range of different issues, including AI, but obviously not limited to. And then that person also needs to be adept at navigating policy environments. And that, as Senator McNerney pointed out, is a whole skill of its own that CCST is there to support experts with, but it is certainly a craft of its own. So we're basically looking for that unicorn candidate who can bring all of these three different skills to the role. And you may or may not have seen, these two positions are still live on CCST's website. We're looking for 2 senior science advisors, one at the California Department of Technology, one at the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. And we're about to publish matching AI policy fellows positions that are more of a mid-career opportunity to support that work under the AI Science Advisor. So if you are interested in working in AI policy in Sacramento, or if you know a colleague who would be a great fit for these frontier AI safety roles, we would be delighted to hear from you for this program, for the AI Academy, and for the work that we're doing with our policy partners. And of course, again, there are different ways to engage with us. You can become the science advisor or fellow. You can recommend a colleague. You can serve on our selection committee. You can participate in our workshop that we're going to host together with these experts and residents. That is a little further out. But please, if you're working in this space, we'd love to hear from you. We would love to connect you with the policymakers grappling with these issues. And with that, we just want to give you a very brief summary of what CCST can offer to you in terms of opportunities to engage, training to engage, to really give you that policy impact. Hector, do you want to walk us through these options?
So in CCST, as part of our AI policy initiative, we are looking to collaborate with scientists in different type of event modalities. We are looking for people to help us in the AI Academy as speakers or presenters, people that bring certain type of perspective that many legislation doesn't have. We also are looking for science advisors. And also, we prepare briefings that are more related to specific technologies and the impact that they are having right now. So if you have an idea of what one of these technology will be or would like to propose a briefing, we are open for discussion. And also, we would like to help us to connect you with the policymakers, because usually this type of connection doesn't have, people in the legislature doesn't talk with the scientists. And part of our job is to help them to communicate, which is challenging sometimes, but that's one of the things that we can also participate with. So also, if you want to join our expert network, so next time when there is a specific question about a specific technology, we know like, oh, I should call this person from UC Berkeley. They might be able to help. So that's some of the ways that you can collaborate with us.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and please let us know how we can help.
Thank you.
Ready to set up for the panel?
Yeah, we're good.